What's up, guys? What's going on? So, it's been a little bit of time since I made a video, not gonna lie. I think it's been probably like 1 or 2 weeks. It hasn't been that long. I've gone longer. Anyways, so, what are we? I think this is second week at ATP. Yeah, started. Yeah. Second week at ATP. So, haven't finished the second week. That ends on Friday, but right now we're in the second week at ATP. So, let me just go over real quickly. Excuse, I'm chewing gum right now. I'm sorry, guys. But, let me just go over what's kind of taken place over this 2-week course. So, got here Monday of last week. Didn't really do much. It's kind of check in, meet your instructor, meet people who are part of your class. My class, or not my class, technically it's not like high school, but the people who joined at the same time that I did, there was only 3 of us, including myself. So, get to meet them, kind of talk, hang out a little bit, figure out who's on what program. Talk about, how you guys can use your native aviation, meet your instructor, go over expectations and all that good stuff. And, so Monday's just pretty much talking and paperwork. It's really not too much to it, don't it? I wouldn't expect to fly Monday. I would still bring your shit in case you do, or sorry, my bad. I would still bring your stuff in case you do need to fly. But yeah, it's not really something that I would really think about doing. Tuesday, that's where things get interesting. So, you guys will be doing, well, if you guys join the program, or if you guys go to ATP, you'll be doing this thing called time building for the first week. And this is where you spend 20 hours in a 172 doing cross countries, or at least for me it was cross countries. So from out of Mesa, I flew to California. California was the first day. So I hadn't flown in probably 2 or 3 weeks at that point. And then when I get back into a plane, it's IFR cross country to California. And I was like, oh, that's pretty intense. But it turned out to be pretty easy, you get back into the flow. After that, we flew to, where did we fly to? We flew to Las Vegas. We flew to Vegas on Wednesday. And then this week, Monday, we flew to Yuma. So Yuma was kind of boring. It's a pretty dead airport. The food was good though. It was only $1 cheap, so that's a bonus. But yeah, so that's where we're at now. It doesn't look like I'll be getting a plane anytime soon because I'll be doing a lot of sim and groundwork, and it's important that you get your ground stuff down. But I actually don't like doing groundwork, guys. I really hate it. I'm gonna be honest. But here's the thing, right? So flying, at least for me personally, the actual flying aspect is relatively easy. I mean, you get up in a plane and you do like, I don't know, 2 hours or something in a plane. Eventually you're going to catch on. And if you don't get it that day, within a week, you pretty much know what you need to do. It becomes muscle memory. You get to the point with like approach charts, you can just stare at it and know what you need to do. And of course you still have to brief it to be safe and whatnot. But with knowledge, I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. You got books and a bunch of stuff you just have to memorize. And for those of you guys who haven't started your IFR yet, and I'm pretty sure this is worse for CFI, but IFR, there are so many acronyms that you have to remember. And it's like, some of them are important, like A tomato flames. That can be important because if you're doing your run-up, this happened to a friend of mine, if you're doing your run-up and then your tack fails, saying that thing to yourself, can you go fly? And that's when you need to remember A tomato flames. So that'll tell you can't fly. Unless you have MEL, then you might be able to go fly if your MEL says you don't need the tag. But that's getting much more complicated stuff. But yeah, so some of them are important, but other ones, I just don't feel like the other ones are that important. Like, and you guys are probably gonna hate on me for this, but for those of you guys that know the DECIDE model, I really feel like you do not need an acronym to tell you how to handle an emergency situation. I mean, obviously, the first thing you're going to do is figure out what the hell's going on. You're going to be like, all right, what's the problem? You're going to work on fixing it. You're going to handle it. You're going to talk to ATC if you need to. And then you're going to figure out what your best options are to handle the situation. But you are not, or at least I'm not, going to mentally run myself through a checklist. It's like a flow that you automatically do when you're encountered with the situation. I mean, you automatically know that first you need to figure out what's going on. You need to evaluate the situation. You figure out your best options. And if you need to contact somebody, you go ahead and do that. But you know this. It's like you should. It's common sense. You should know some of this stuff. So then when they make a whole acronym for it and they expect you to remember it, I'm like, dude, it's not needed. But then of course it depends upon your DP and how much they actually want you to remember. Sorry guys, I know I'm messing it up. But the thing is that you don't know what your DP is going to ask you. I mean, they could ask you the PAVE checklist, they could ask you the DECIDE model, they could ask you the I'm safe, they could ask you all of them. So you need to know them for when you start your exam. And what sucks even more, it doesn't really suck, but you guys should, when you guys memorize them, keep it, because when you go to your IFR, there's like 3 or 4 of the same not checklists, but acronyms that are from the private that transfer over to IFR. So if you already have some of them down, just makes things a little bit easier. You guys will see that your instrument rating, the knowledge, there's a lot of it, but it supplements what you should already know, because it's only an add-on. So it's like a private with the instrument add-on. You know, it's not a whole different rating, like a PPL, or it's not a whole different license, actually, like your commercial license, or yeah, you know, or your ATP. I don't know, is ATP rating or a license? I'm not too sure. But yeah, so it's just supplementing what you know. So if you have a good foundation for your private stuff, instrument will be relatively easy, because you already have that foundation built. So all you're doing now is just remembering the extra stuff that goes along with it. A lot of it is procedural too. Figuring out if ATC tells you you're cleared, or you can join the ILS. Does that mean you can actually fly the glide slope? You know, and you know, it's actually happened to me. I went to California. ATC told us, this is my first flight, by the way, so guys, don't hate on me. But ATC said, I think they said clear to join the ILS. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we just pop on the ILS, you know, you fly the glide slope and the localizer, will be fine. No, that's not what it means. Clear to join the ILS pretty much means you're cleared to join the localizer. You are not cleared to follow the glide slope. You aren't cleared to fly the glide slope until ATC tells you you are cleared to fly the ILS, or you're cleared ILS runway on 6, you know. That's when you have permission to actually fly the ILS. Then you'll find that when you get into IFR, there's a lot of tiny things that, and I'm not hating on air traffic controllers. Anyway, you guys do a really good job. But some of the, like, I was flying back from Vegas. We were on a heading of like 250, and ATC told us turn heading 230, and then when able, go direct to our next waypoint. And I was like, why not just have us go direct? Like, why do we even need to turn 230 if you're just gonna make us go to direct to our next waypoint? I mean, why not just go? Because honestly, like, really what took place was we were holding 230 for maybe 2 or 3 seconds, like just long enough for me to put into the GPS that I wanted to go direct, and then we were heading straight. So I don't understand. Like, I mean, maybe there was some reason for it. To the best of my knowledge, there wasn't any traffic around us, but I could be wrong. But stuff like that I should understand. That, and when you get clearance, IFR clearance, some of these controllers like to read shit off fast as hell, as if we don't have to write this stuff down. Especially when they give you amendments and whatnot, and they're just breezing through it. And I'm like, man, please slow down. Like, you need to slow down, dude. I get that you have a job to do, but at the same time, I have a job to do. And if I understand what you're saying, it makes my life easy. It makes your life easy. I don't have to say, repeat. You don't have to say it again. You say it slow and readable the first time, so I can write everything down. I can read it back to you correctly the first time. And there's no back and forth. I mean, is that too much to ask for? I mean, when you guys start flying instrument, some airports are really, really good. Some will read it back nice and slow, so you can get it. I'm not special or anything, but, you know, just take your time, dude. But then other controllers will just blurt it off like a machine gun. And I'm like, oh my god, it's not needed. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that. But I'm only a rookie, so who knows? We still have time. Anyways, guys, so yeah, So yeah, we're halfway through our second week, and so far so good. No regrets, which is good. If you guys done any research on ATP, you guys might know that they kind of have a spotty reputation. And this facility that I'm at seems to be pretty good. The person who runs it seems to really have his wits about him. My instructor's really good. So yeah, and this facility just seems really well run. There are some ATP facilities that are pretty downhill. So if you guys are thinking about joining ATP, just really make sure that you really steady the location that's closest to you. You know, try to find people who've gone to that location, people who have friends that gone to that location. Before I started joining, or when I was in the process of joining ATP, a lot of people told me, like almost everybody I talked to told me, ATP is not a good place to learn how to fly. It's a pilot factory. It's just sorry guys, I had my alarm. It's just no good. And that's where it gets interesting, because everybody I talked to, they always were referring to a different base. Nobody ever said anything negative about